Welcome everybody to Weekly Wanderings with Sarah and Aaron at Lake Coniston Nature Preserve. We are here today with a wonderful volunteer, Dennis, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about our project. So Aaron, tell us more about these boxes that y'all have been working on.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm happy to. These boxes are for blue mason bees primarily, although we do have some other species in some of them. The blue mason bee is a native species, as are leafcutter bees, and we think we might have another species in a box we're going to visit in just a moment. But we put these up for the blue mason bee. Dennis did all the construction and mounting of them, and as he'll tell you in just a moment, we have two different types we were experimenting with this year. The blue mason bee is a great pollinator, but with a limited span of time that it is active out there pollinating. So it's more efficient than the honeybee, which is not a native, but it's not going to be going on all summer long. It's just going to be early spring. So Dennis, do you want to tell us a little more about the construction of these boxes and why we have two different kinds?
Sure. So we tried this kind of block at first, but we have to take these apart every year to clean them because the parasite buildup. We figured we would try something different last year. Aaron found these paper tubes that are made for solitary bees, like the blue mason bee. So we have a lot of success now doing this from last year. So we're thinking we may eventually retire these. We're not sure yet, and go to this method, because this method here is much easier to clean out.
You can see that we have, I've counted in all the boxes, we have 63 to 71%, according to my calculations, habitation of the boxes by all the species of bees, but we also have some predation. You can see that something has made a hole in some of these little spots that are filled with mud. And of course, mason bee gets its name from the fact that it caps its tube with mud and builds walls inside of mud as well. So we don't know what made that, but I do know that some wasps will have an ovipositor and they'll put an egg in and cause some predation in those, so that may be what's happening there. But we do see that there's been some success with both types, and as Dennis mentioned, this one's a little easier for us to maintain, and cleanliness is very important to the bees and their health, so that is a key factor.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, tell us more about what the specific issue is that you're trying to resolve today.
So these bees don't have an active life outside of the nest for very long. They're going to live in the nest for almost a full year as a pupa, a larva. They're going to come out as a full-grown adult and have a short span of a month or less of active life. And that's a busy time for them. They're going to be pollinating and laying eggs in that time. We don't want to miss it. We don't want to come at the wrong time and find that they're looking for a clean hole to go into to build a new nest, and they can't find it because they're still dirty from last year. While the mason bee is solitary, as is the leafcutter bee or the resin bee, which we have in some of our other boxes, they are solitary, but they're gregarious, meaning they like to inhabit a common area even though they have a single cell. So we don't want one species coming out one week and another, and then the box is not ready for us to come and clean. So we need to find a way to have a clean nesting area for them when they're ready without disturbing them before it's time. So, Dennis, let's talk about some ideas to solve that problem.
Right. Well, I think what we're going to do is put up a new box with clean nesting block here, right below this one here, and attach one of these with clean tubes right below it here. So we think when the adults come out, we hope they're going to see the clean nesting block for them or the clean tubes for them, and use that first. This is still an experiment. We're not sure how things are going to turn out. We're taking notes every step of the way, and so in a few years we'll have it more fine-tuned, but this is, as science is, it's always an experiment.
And we just started discussing this, but we may actually block off the open areas of the old boxes, the channels that were not used this year, so that they don't start to repopulate an unclean box. Yes, there are areas that are clean, but we want to be able to get in there and clean out the dirty ones so that we can switch it out. so that we won't be facing the same issue next year. If we can get a system down, then in years to come, they will always have a clean, new spot to go, and we can just be switching out the 2 boxes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Dennis. We appreciate all your hard work on our bee boxes, and we look forward to seeing the success of this idea. Thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next week.